Hello everyone, how are you? I hope you're doing good in the exam. Today we are going to have a quick revision of the grammar that we studied during Unit 1. As you can remember, the grammar we studied dynamic and stative verbs, defining and non-defining relative clauses, present perfect, present simple passive. Let's begin with the dynamic and stative verbs. Do you remember what we said about the dynamic verbs? The dynamic verbs are verbs describe actions like, for example, play, drive, eat, do, make, study, etc. These verbs come either present simple or present continuous. In the case of the present, for example, we can say, they play football every day. They are playing football now. As you can notice, the key word in the first sentence is the keywords in the first sentence, every day. So we use they play. But in the second sentence, the keyword is now. So we have to use they are playing. Let's go to the other side, the stative verbs. These verbs describe feelings, emotions, beliefs, verbs of senses. Who can remember the verbs of senses? As we explained lately, the verbs of senses are taste, feel, sound, smell, and the last one is look. But these verbs are used as senses. As for example, the food tastes delicious. The match or the music sounds loudly. Example of these verbs, the stative verbs, like, love, seem, think, have. These verbs come only as present simple. As we said, they never come with the present continuous, even if there is a keyword that represents the present continuous. For example, we say, the music sounds noisy, but I say, I feel cold right now. I can't say I'm feeling cold right now. Do you remember that feel comes stative verb and a dynamic verb? For example, we can say, I feel cold right now. For example, I say, the pillow or the flower feels soft. يعني ملمس الوردة ناعم. لكن في البداية بنحكي I feel cold right now, أشعر بالبرد. Okay? Let's have examples of these verbs. It's 8 o'clock and the verb must be drive. I say, I am driving to work. لأنه it's 8 o'clock now. It's 8 o'clock now. And I am driving to work. I hope I can arrive at time. Did you buy a new perfume? It smells really nice. It smells. رائحتها أو رائحته جميلة. Number 3. Thank you for the flowers. I am smelling them right now. يعني لما يكون الفعل بمعنى يشم، هنا بطل فعل حواس، إذا أنا بستخدمه هنا dynamic verb. أنا أشم. Kevin is so tired after the long flight. He is sleeping on the sofa now. He is sleeping. Sleep is a dynamic verb. And there is a keyword for the present continuous. Do you like the food? Yes. It tastes delicious. It tastes delicious. مذاقه لذيذ. مذاقه لذيذ. لكن أنا لو بدي أحكي I am tasting the food، أنا أتذوق الطعام، هنا يصبح dynamic verb. Let's come to the defining and non-defining relative clauses. Defining and non-defining relative clauses are both sentences that have relative clauses. But there's a difference. Defining relative clause, it's a clause that has a relative pronoun describes the object that the speaker is talking about. This relative clause is essential and cannot be deleted. You can't delete the relative clause, okay? My sister, who is a doctor, lives in Amman. This means that the speaker indicates that he or she has one sister. She is a doctor and she lives next to her or him. Non-defining relative clause is a clause that has a relative pronoun, describes the object, must be preceded and followed by commas. Okay, do you remember? Okay, this relative clause adds an information and can be deleted. It adds an information and can be deleted. We can delete it. For example, the same example. My sister, who is a doctor, lives in Amman. We have to say it like this. My sister, who is a doctor, lives in Amman. This sentence means that the speaker indicates that he or she has more than one sister, but only the sister who is a doctor lives in Amman. Okay? Let's read together these sentences carefully and then answer the questions below. The question below. That girl whose sister is sitting next to me in the class is called Jude. That girl whose sister is sitting next to me in the class is called Jude. Can you see the difference? Which one is defining and which one is non-defining? Of course, the first one is non-defining. And the second one is defining. Okay, which one of these two sentences indicates that the speaker has more than one sister? What do you think? Very good. The first one indicates that the speaker has more than one sister because it's a non-defining relative clause. It adds or gives me more information, and the relative clause can be deleted without changing the meaning. Okay, let's go to the present perfect. The present perfect tense describes the action which happened in the past and has a present consequences. Happened in the past and still happens in the present, or has an evidence of it in the present. Can you remember the timeline that we drew in the class? Let's draw it together. This is the timeline. This is the timeline. What is the timeline? Okay, this is the timeline. We have to divide it for past, present, and future. Okay, the action in the present perfect happens in the past and hasn't stopped in the past, but it has consequence in the present. يتابع في المضارع. Okay? For example, he has worked as a firefighter for 10 years. بيشتغل كإطفائي for 10 years. هل يا ترى هنا توقف عن العمل as a firefighter? No. She has studied English since she was in the first grade. Has she stopped? No. They have already done the homework. She hasn't cleaned her room yet. Have you ever been to Paris? Have you finished studying yet? As you can notice, the form of the verb is subject plus have, has, plus past participle verb with the keywords. Past participle or the verb 3. Okay? Let's see these examples. He has studied English for almost 11 years. He has studied English. We haven't used the cell phone since the new teacher arrived. Haven't used. Not used becomes haven't used. The children has already gone to bed. The children has already gone. I haven't seen you since 2020. Not see becomes haven't seen. My father hasn't brought me the new laptop yet. You have to remember that whenever I see yet, I have to make the helping verbs or the auxiliary verbs with the negative form, hasn't. Yet means negative. Yet means negative. Okay? But in the question, don't put the negative form. They have watched that movie for 3 times. Watch become have watched. And now, with the last structure or with the last rule, the present simple passive. The present simple passive is used to talk an action performed among the object in the present. The subject isn't very important. The object is highlighted. Okay? تتذكروا لما حكينا بالحصة إنه الأوبجكت هو المهم وليس الفاعل. إذن أنا لازم أركز على الأوبجكت. Okay? The form object plus be plus past participle form of the verb. Be is are or am according to the object. If it is singular, it has to take is. If it is plural, it has to take are. If it is I, it has to take am. For example, the beach is cleaned every day. The beach is cleaned every day. Here, the object is singular. Object. It took as, and the past participle form of the verb. Clean becomes cleaned. As you can see, the most important thing is the beach being cleaned. It is not who cleaned the beach or who cleans the beach. The most important thing is the beach cleaned every day. This bag is made in Italy. I'm not interested in who made the bag. I'm interested in the bag itself. So the most important thing is the bag. The bag is singular, so we have to use is and the past participle verb made. The tools are kept in the books. The tools, plural, so we have to add are and the past participle kept. We may add the subject preceded by at the end of the sentence. يعني بقدر أضيف الفاعل وقبله كلمة by في نهاية الجملة. For example, the sheep are guided by the dog. The exam is corrected by the teacher. Okay? Let's see these examples. Teenagers, you have to rewrite these sentences. You have to rewrite these sentences. Teenagers read fashion magazines. Becomes fashion magazines are read by teenagers. Most young people don't watch documentaries. Documentaries aren't watched. We have don't watch becomes aren't watched. ما بننسى النيجاتيف. Aren't watched by most young people. Kate tidies up her room every weekend. Kate's room is tidied up every weekend. We can say by Kate, by herself. Okay, with this we come to the end of our revision for the grammar of Unit 1. Good luck, inshallah, and have a nice day.